day, ladies and gentlemen. Briareos Kerensky reporting in for reviewing Under the Feet HD. Before diving into the game, I have to say that both unbox and review haven't been easy tasks, as the review has been plagued with problems too, but it's finally here, time to start praising the game. So yeah, let me say this right away, I like this game and this edition only makes it better. Back on the Dreamcast, the game clicked with me immediately, and it's all thanks to the tanks, the cannon fodder of the game. You shoot them once and their turret is gone, you shoot them a second time and they are gone. Just like old toaplan shooters, the first video games I was ever exposed to, even before Mario Brothers. With the transition from the Dreamcast to the PS3 and the X360, Under the Feet gained a new mode, a new control scheme, new helicopters and online leaderboards. Unfortunately, there is no install option on the PS3 other than saves, but loading times are not terrible. In fact, I think they are on par or even a little faster than on the Dreamcast. Graphics haven't changed much, and despite the transition to an higher resolution, Under the Feet is still able to defend itself. It might not be as stylish as Ikaruga or rich in special effects like Gradius 5, but it's impossible to deny its graphical charms. Water reflects the player's helicopter, smoke and trees are shaken by explosions, dynamic shadows, environmental depth that is just not scenic. Surely this console generation is capable of much more, but Under the Feet looks solid in its relatively simple presentation. The two game modes feature different soundtracks, and it's possible to choose which one to listen in any game mode, a very nice feature. I personally prefer the original soundtrack due to its more aggressive and unrefined appeal. It must be noted that the game does not run at a constant frame rate, but just like many other shooters, slowdowns are meant to help the player during tricky situations and are not a consequence of bad programming. You'll come to like these slowdowns as they never impede the game itself. Now that the technical part is done, let's explore Under the Feet's mechanics. As a shoot 'em up, the objective is quite simple. Scrolling is not vertically fixed, but often shifts diagonally, and this is where the ability to control the helicopter's yaw comes into play. When not firing, the helicopter turns left or right and becomes fixed at that angle when firing is resumed. Mobility is never sacrificed as the helicopter moves around the screen in both states. Holding fire also allows to charge the option meter. The option is a small, independent gun deployed by the helicopter and armed with one of the three available power-ups: machine gun, cannon and rocket. The helicopter controlled by the player always has a machine gun and weaker side guns, no matter if the option is deployed or not. Depending on the equipped weapon, the option behaves in different modes, though its main function is to provide extra firepower and allows the player to move the helicopter to a better firing position while the option supports it. As natural it might sound, the player's helicopter and the enemy's ground targets do not have the same elevation. This means that the helicopter, and to a lesser extent the option, have to reorient their guns. This takes a split second, but in later levels the layout is such that the ground can block shots, forcing players to take full advantage of their helicopter's turning ability. Coupled with the dynamic scrolling, this makes Under the Feet a particularly engaging shoot 'em up, though after getting used to it, the control scheme might feel restrictive. Being fought for arcade cabinets with only one digital stick, it's not possible to freely move and rotate the helicopter at the same time. The game, however, has been thought around this limitation, with levels and enemy patterns carefully orchestrated to give the players more than one way to aim for their targets. And then this edition came, with a dual-stick control scheme that lets move and rotate at the same time. It feels great. At first I wasn't sure that dual analog sticks will be better than an arcade stick, but I stand corrected and I fully transitioned to this new control scheme in a matter of minutes. The new game mode is called New Order and is an optimized mode for widescreens. The original screen layout was a vertical 4/3 and probably not many gamers would have been able to rotate their monitors to have the arcade mode in full screen. New Order is not a mere screen stretch, but features revisited enemy patterns to better suit the new screen proportions. The experience between old and new is not a drastically different one, but it's nice to see that G.Rev didn't simply change the point of view. It is also possible to change the helicopter types now. When playing alone, it's possible to choose the color of the standard helicopter or opt for one of the two new ones. The first, the VKL 7.04V, looks awful but plays interesting. It has no option and the acquired power-up is constantly fired by the helicopter itself, similar to power-ups in many other shooters. The second, VKL 6.02A, is simply not fun as it is massively overpowered. It has the standard machine gun, option and infinite homing rockets. It's the easy way to 1cc the game, but it's simply not fun to use because it requires little to no dodging. I personally like to stick with the standard helicopter, the game just feels built around it. Under Defeat HD is not problems free, however. The height mechanic, though interesting, sometimes poses a problem in identifying the correct position for dodging the most complex bullet patterns, and often clutch bombing is the best way to deal with tricky situations. New Order mode, while well done, is considerably easier than the arcade mode. The game was fought for completely different screen proportions, and Under Defeat feels the best in arcade mode. For those that have the possibility to turn their monitors around, Tate mode is available and just like the Dreamcast, it can be rotated clockwise and counterclockwise. Controls can also be rotated, so it's still possible to play with arcade in full screen without rotating the screen itself. And last, Under Defeat is not the most challenging or longest shoot 'em up out there. At normal difficulty, completing the 5 levels should be quite easy, sorry for the choice of words, especially with the new control scheme and helicopters. The game wasn't exactly the hardest on the Dreamcast as well, and the new additions only worsened this problem. Under Defeat offers a new game mode with slightly faster rhythm, mirrored levels with new textures, but it might not be enough for some. This does not change that Under Defeat is a joy to play though. Another nitpick is that score multipliers are not easily accessible without the rocket option, and even with that there aren't many occasions where to make use of it. The very last nitpick is a personal one, and it's about the trophies. It's a common problem with many games, where trophies and achievements are given for just starting the game or going into the option menu, and some of the game-related ones are incredibly easy to obtain, that they make little to no sense. But yeah, this is a very personal point of view. So, go buy the game, you won't regret it. This has been Briere Oskarensky, over and out.
Erfolgreiche Mission. Kehren Sie zurück, um mich zu stützen.